played it off of the block, but he was reaching over into the Netherlands side anyway. And as a result, touching it before the Netherlands, it was an error. But at this level, these teams and the teams in Group 1, when they're jump serving, it's not a serve receive, it's you're defending a spike. And right now, Slovenia have been the best exponents of that.
Well, that's better from the team from the Netherlands. Some good touches at the block now. They're still close enough if they're good enough. 11-18, we only go to 25 in the first set. So in point per rally volleyball, folks, if you haven't seen a lot of it, the scoreboard can rattle ahead pretty quickly. But for the Netherlands, they've got to just play point of time. The captain with the ball is a good man to have.
Oh, that's some block. Chebel beaten one-on-one, although he was a little bit square onto the net, a little bit tight to the net. As a result, Netherlands get themselves a decent point.
Walter Termat there getting the one-on-one block. That was an important point for the Netherlands.
Now going back
with
to
the
the
ball, he's a good man to have.
Oh, that's some block. Chebel beaten one-on-one, although he was a little bit square onto the net. Well, that was an interesting side-out attempt from the Netherlands because they ran a B-quick, they ran the shoot ball in front of the setter, but it was all stacked up towards where Slovenia were over on that left-hand side, and middle block had only had to make one step adjustment. That wasn't the best of plays for the Netherlands.
Gasparini actually looked to step to his left, but quickly adjusted, so good agility, lateral agility from the 6.
That will do nicely. You don't get 2 points for hitting it hard, you just got to make sure it goes off the block and out or find some part of the court, and that's exactly what the Netherlands did with that play.
That was the 16 again, Termat. We'll go back to serve. Absolutely perfect connection again between setter and middle attacker from Slovenia. They have done that really nicely throughout the course of this set, and that's been one of the big differences. The serve receive from Slovenia, so many options that the setter can run off that ball, brings the middle hitter into play. Concilia for Slovenia, the 11, putting it away clinically for 21-13.
A new setter on court for the Netherlands in Vessel Kaming, and also the new opposite in the form of number 11, Robin Overbaker. So Netherlands making some changes, trying to get back into this one if they can. They might have a chance here. And that's off the block and into the antenna, although Slovenia trying to make a case for it being straight into that antenna, but they're not going to get it.
That was Robin Overbaker. I felt he got a little bit lucky there, the left-hander. He didn't really do the work. He really didn't get back in time. He vaguely got back past the attack line, so not a full attack at all. So probably a bit fortunate there for the Dutch spiker that he was effective against the block, but he'll take it. Once again, that beautiful disguise from the Slovenian setter. He slips his hips and shoulders really late to set the back play. It's hard to read.
Pretty much he goes to play, he's vertical in the air, he's almost statuesque that moment before he lets the ball go, and that makes it so difficult, but it's a joy to watch. Andringer now with the serve for Slovenia. Just 3 more points required for them to wrap this set up. Very nicely done. Arno isolated, and Overbaker coming in and having no trouble putting that one away.
We've seen that so few times though in this first set for the Dutch, that one-on-one situation where you've isolated your blocker. a masterclass.
The ball is just so much quicker than the middle blocker can hope to. Unless he's guessed and guessed correctly, he's got no chance at the moment. Any of the middle blockers for the Netherlands, you can just see Diffenbach was nowhere in terms of getting to that ball. Server on court for Slovenia, Jan Kozumemic. That's a good dig. And Slovenia have control of the ball, and they have the points. Two good digs and an excellent counter-attack. Slovenia now have the set point.
Gasparini again coming out of position one, the back row attack. The dig, as you say, was pretty good, and again, that connection between the setter and that back row attack, a joy to watch. Set point Slovenia, they've thoroughly deserved to be in this position.
Well, that one's not touched the block, and Slovenia take the point. They take the first set, 25-15. They are off and running in this first semi-final. Perfect start for Slovenia. They'll be delighted with that. It's a case really going back to the drawing board. The Netherlands, when you look at it and break it down, it just seems that their serve-receive unit really struggling to deal with the serve. Even some of the jump float serves, you can see they're reacting very late. Great Slovenian crowd in, watching this one, making plenty of noise. They've got plenty to be cheering about at the moment.
Who knew there were so many Slovenian volleyball fans on the Gold Coast? I'm very impressed. And I think for the Netherlands, combination, okay, they've dropped the first set and they were well beaten, but it's a semi-final. They get to shake it off, start again. So I think, you know, very animated scenes there. Guido Vermeulen, not the face of a contented coach at the moment.
Do you think that Vermeulen, his frame of mind wouldn't have been great? Team have underperformed in that first set. However, his two substitutes who've come in Kamink and Overbeek, have done a very good job. I think, what do you think, enough to stay on court for the second set?
I think he has to try and turn the momentum around. So those guys came on, they added something, a spark, a lift, whatever you want to call it. So I think if he takes them back off now, I think then that is a step backwards. I think, yeah, I'll be interested to see the 6 that he sends out to start the second set. Never take off the hot athlete, the guy that's on a roll. But I'm not an international volleyball coach, so we'll see what he does. I think if you're Slobodan Kovac there on screen, the coach of Slovenia, I think he's mostly happy. You see he's talking, I think, about their serve angles.
One of their poor rotations, really, poor elements to their game. If there was one chink in their armour, as it were, was Chevel's blocking through two. He let a lot of ball. He didn't line up correctly, and they had a lot of success going cross-court against Slovenia. But that was probably their only weak point in what was otherwise a pretty consummate performance.
It depends on your point of view, doesn't it? He really forced the Netherlands to go very sharp out of two on a number of occasions, and they were good enough to hit a few winners that way. But I guess, gee, it's such a low percentage, isn't it? Do you want to keep forcing them that way? I think they adjusted pretty well. For mine, you know, so far in the masterclasses from the setter from Slovenia, Dejan Vincic has really steered the team around beautifully. His connection, particularly in the back row, with Mitja Gasparini, the number 6, has been great. He's connected well with both of his middle attackers. So they just look like they can hit winners from everywhere. We see some first set highlights. Even the 3 blockers didn't phase the Slovenians. They played a bit smarter. And again, that connection, Gasparini hitting in the back row there, the 6.
Second set underway. Slovenia with the serve. They lead by 1-0. And that's a very nice confidence builder for the Netherlands to get an instant side out. But interestingly enough, The two players that came in, Kamink and Overbaker, who did bring some momentum for the Netherlands, even though they lost a set, are back to the bench. And it's Termat 16 through the opposite, and Dan Van Harlem starts again as setter.
So we talked about whether he would go back to his starting lineup or would he trust the players that have come on and added something. So maybe they're going to be the finishers in this second set.
Arno with the serve. Timing issues for the Netherlands through the middle, and they are punished by Slovenia. Chebel puts that one away. It was the captain, Jasper Diffenbach, not linking with Van Harlem in the middle, and as a result Slovenia make the dig and then put the ball away on their counter-attack. Arno again plays for Trentino Diatec in Italy, one of the top teams in Italy. Played in many World Club Championships as Tino Arno for the Italian side, and won a few Italian championships as well. Get a good shot there from the Netherlands with Diffenbach serving over a screen, which, although they say isn't, most definitely is. When you line three players up and they're looking to see where they need to stand next to each other, and the guy stood behind them filling in the gaps, and then the Diffenbach serving over the top of five players, that to me is a screen. It's
an interesting call, this one from the first referee. They're saying the ball went out. The first referee is clearly saying, look, I watched it really clearly and I think it's come off the outside blocker. He somehow picked up a touch on the block. Captain Diffenbach is going over for a bit of a chat. First referee is absolutely stoic and will not change his call, so maybe the Slovenians catching a break on that occasion. It's a better play, the back set. We see the number 3, the libero for the Netherlands in Dirk Spiridians, as you say, is trying to fire his team up, so he's the one that's perhaps going to light a fire.
Well, this is just what the Netherlands wanted. They're 3 apiece. They're in this second set, but they don't want to give 3 points to Slovenia. As much as possible. Serve receive unit for the Netherlands right on the baseline. Any kind of disguise in the serve from Gasparini. If he can roll this one short, could be on to a winner. He's going for it, and that's a good lead by the Netherlands.
And the athletes in serve receive, they have so little time to react and respond to that serve. You've talked about the power of the serve, so they had to make a quick decision. It would have been a clean ace if it was going into court. That was a sharp angle he went for, but not on this occasion.
Good dig. That's an excellent set, but an even better block by Slovenia. And they have their side out, their edge in front.
And that hurts the Dutch because that was pretty much the perfect play. They felt they'd done everything correctly, but the Slovenian block just adjusted so quickly.
Chebel with the serve. Arno again lining up the block perfectly. Once again, Netherlands under pressure from the serving. That is a super block from the captain. That was a super back attack from the Netherlands. 3 blockers. Still no trouble at all getting this one away cross court. Vincic a little bit late to get out and help, just opened up a bit of space.
And that can actually often put your defence off. He didn't add anything with any block pressure, so sometimes it's better for that player to stay down. See the reception wasn't able to adjust. And that is such a pretty play. Just when you think you've seen all of the different options that the Slovenian setter and Vincic has got to play, a little twist of his hips in the last minute there to put it up in the pipe position. And yes, it clipped the net on the way through. It was still a delightful offense from a very polished Slovenian outfit.
Cilia now with the serve. And the Netherlands giving Slovenia a taste of their own medicine.
You can't tell me that the two setters don't. You know, there's a battle within a battle. The two setters, the two middle blockers. So I love to see how the other setter responds to a nice play from his opposite number. That was a really nice response.
Technical timeout. Slovenia have their noses in front by 2.
But a better start. The Netherlands, I felt, looked a little bit like they were sleepwalking at the start of the first set. I think they were very surprised by the tempo, the attitude, the style of attack from the Slovenians. So they've come out and started much better in the second. So for the Slovenians, they don't have to change anything, in my view. I think it's all up to the Netherlands to try and lift their style of play. You see a very calm Slovenian camp. It'll be interesting if the Netherlands get a lead. You know, we're in the second set, about halfway through the second set. We haven't actually seen the Dutch lead the match at all at any stage. So for the Slovenians, it has been reasonably smooth sailing. The Netherlands need to do something. They need to get on a roll. If they can get their nose in front, let's put some pressure back on the Slovenian squad. The crowd are involved. Let's see if the team in orange can maybe turn this around. They're within touching distance now.
Vincic with the serve for Slovenia, picking on to Horst. Slovenia have the ball in transition. Well, that's a super block. Diffenbach coming up and coming up big in the middle. The captain leading by example.
We talked at the start of the game, he's currently the 4th best blocker statistically in this Group 2 of the World League leading into the final series. So he's a guy that can really get some touches on the ball.
And Dringer. See that so often even at the top level. And Bernau coming in, cross court, the ball wasn't great, and he's trying to cut it back to a line. It's just not an option to be able to do that.
And sometimes you can see how badly his body shape was. He got out of control. Often they can lose it in some of the side lighting, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just lost his handle on that ball. And all of a sudden, the Netherlands are reborn.
Vincic, the back row player, is not allowed to go up and block this. He tried to fool Ter Horst, but Ter Horst watched this one like a hawk and made sure it didn't come over. And the Netherlands now have their first lead.
Let's see if the Slovenians cope with the pressure, or can the Dutch open up a bit of headway.
Quick ball to the middle, just getting through the gap. With the serve. Lovely play from the Netherlands. Van Harlem had a quick look to see where the blockers were on the other side of the net, and then realised that he could get some joy by going behind. And Chebel, who's not done much blocking-wise at the moment, still hasn't. Diffenbach now with the serve for the Netherlands. Quicker ball, but still, the Netherlands keep it off the floor. Not for much longer, though. Slovenia put up a wall that the Netherlands can't get through, and we're all square at 10 apiece.
And at the risk of being a little bit critical here, it was the captain in Diffenbach in 6 that kind of really wasn't participating Everyone else was in good position, and he, I think he went a little bit to sleep there, and he wasn't happy with himself. But the desperation is a bit better from the Netherlands. They're winning ugly points, but they're finding a way to win some points that maybe they didn't in the first set. So 10-all are absolutely competing.
Well, that looked like a laboured run off the net from Dan Van Harlem to that ball. He wasn't quick, was it? Out of position, and then Ter Horst was struggling. Better ball in. Quick ball to the middle, playing dividends as Thomas Koolewijn gets that one off the block and away.
And we haven't seen very much of that quick attack from the Netherlands, so that was a nice conversion on that occasion. They want a few more of those. Oh, and a lot more of those.
Lovely serve, Wouter Termat, the opposite for the Netherlands, coming up with the ace serve. And the Netherlands now leading 12-11. Brilliant.
Termat plays his volleyball for the Berlin Volleys in Germany. Current champions of Europe, I believe. Oh, that's a nice swing.
Well, that's the beauty of the pipe attack, just over the top of the middle attack. If you commit with the middle, you leave a gap right in the heart of your defence. And that's exactly what happened with the Netherlands. Gasparini. Oh, that's going to hurt.
That is going to leave a mark. This will look very, very nice for the fans of Dutch volleyball. The pipe set was perfect. Absolutely no block at all. If you are the libero, there's nothing you like less than the unblocked ball coming out of the back row. That is very hard to retrieve.
Ter Horst going with the jump float serve can be just as difficult as the jump serve to deal with for very different reasons, as that one goes off the block and lands in. It's interesting when you ask players sometimes which would you rather have, 100 jump serves or 100 float serves, jump float serves at you, and more often than not, even at this level, they still elect for the jump serves because you get that flight, the start point, the end point, you know where it is, but with the jump float serves with the best players, it's just coming at you at a flat line, you just don't know where it's going to land.
Yeah, the difference between the jump float and the jump topspin is not the up and down movement, but rather the lateral movement, that it's very hard to predict the sideways movement of the ball. So what might look like a fairly pedestrian serve on the television is actually moving laterally quite a lot.
Which is why if you do get a chance to come and watch a game of volleyball, if you can, spend at least one set watching from the baseline. See the quick the movement of the players and the movement of the ball. So we had a quick look at that one going down the front of the Netherlands block. So Slovenia taking the point and edging in front now, 14-13. A very different set to the first set that we witnessed. The Netherlands have woken up, they've got their rhythm, they've got their momentum, they're dealing slightly better with this Slovenian serve, and then a sprinkle of service errors as well from Slovenia, keeping the Netherlands very much in this set at 14 apiece now.
And I like this lineup with Diefenbach, Andringer, and the number one for the Netherlands in Van Harlem are in the front row. I reckon this is almost their best blocking structure. So this is a time where I think they can get some points.
This will stay in play. That's a free swing from the back row. Gasparini saying thank you very much. And it looked like a great swing, but that was all down to the setter again from Slovenia, Dejan Vincic. So there you go, have that on a plate.
What Vincic has done really well in the first set by dumping that one ball over, he's kept the block really honest. So you've got a front court setter for Slovenia at the moment, so they have to kind of lurk a little bit on him, and he connects with Gasparini in the back court so well. That's going to be 4 touches.
Second technical timeout. Slovenia leading by 2 and by 1 set to nothing. That looked nice, but the libero not moving his feet quickly enough, and then compounded with another player who was shaping up for a cross-court hit but cutting it back to the line, and not beaten by the block this time, just beaten by the net.
Yeah, it's hard to forgive those sorts of errors in match play like this. You've really got to find a way to get the ball back into play. You saw the Slovenian block didn't even commit on the play. That will drive Vermeulen quite crazy, I would imagine. But better signs, the Netherlands. They had a lead for a very short space of time in the second set. They were well beaten, 25-15 in the first set. Is an absolutely solid performance by Slovenia, but absolutely better performance from the Netherlands. But can they turn it into a set win? This is a really crucial part of this match and this set. If Slovenia jump away to a bit of a lead here, it's going to be hard to pull them back.
It's the last third now of this second set. And something for the Netherlands to shout about, although some coaches might find that a little bit worrying when your team is celebrating quite as vociferously as that. Easy for me to say, when the other team's made an error. I'm certainly an advocate of let's just celebrate the points we win and not get heads up on celebrating the other team's errors. That's a good dig. They're looking for a touch. Both line judges say it was out, didn't touch anyone. The referee's in agreement. I have to say, from our commentary position, it didn't look like it touched anybody.
Yeah, it was a desperate kind of request. And so the captains will be brought in for a bit of a yarn, as we say here in Australia. Diefenbach, the 6, and the captain is just being reminded that his team needs to keep a bit of a respectful composure on the court, I guess.
Also the second time that Diefenbach, well, he's allowed to go and talk to the referee because he's the captain, but there's a difference between talking to and talking at. He's also being reminded of that fact.
That is truly awful.
So less said about that serve, the better.
Slovenia have made some glaringly bad service errors in this second set, and I can't help but think they are inviting the Netherlands back into this match. Let's see if Andringa can perhaps profit from the service line.
Big lineup for the Netherlands with Terhorst, Tomat and Diefenbach at the net, their tallest lineup. So unlucky. It looked for a moment as if that was a huge one-on-one block, but unfortunately for the Netherlands, not closing the gap between arms and the net, and it's gone under the block and down the side of the Netherlands.
Technically, he'll be disappointed to see that back. I think the 16, Walter Tomat, he was a fair way back off the net.
It's a double movement, ideally. Technically perfect blocking is as soon as your hands are above the net, they're across the net. But he went for the height, went for the press, and it was too late. More like a beach block than an indoor volleyball block. But it's that battle at this top level, isn't it, between getting height and getting net penetration. You look at some of the spike heights of these players, they're touching 340, 350, some of them in the top level, 360 plus. The net is 2.43 meters, and just to kind of put that in perspective, that's the same height as the crossbar in soccer, in football, and these guys head and shoulders numbers above the top of the tape.
Frightening. Just have an inquiry as to the rotations of the teams at the moment. We're just concerned that the athletes are in their right positions. But I think all is clear. Of course, athletes got to stay in what we call the correct rotation. But all is clear, but it gives the coach of the Netherlands, Guido Vermeulen, an opportunity to just pull his team in. This is a really critical point in this match, Clayton. We've seen some good moments from the Netherlands. We've seen them kind of taken Slovenia out of their shape a little bit, but they haven't done enough to get a lead. Can't help but think that the time is now for the Netherlands in this match.
Any more unforced errors here for the Netherlands could be crucial if they're not taking this set there. They've certainly cut down the number of unforced errors, but it definitely is still those errors that are seeing Slovenia stay in front, even though Slovenia made a couple of howlers from the serving line. Well, this is the difference. This is where the good teams push on and take a set, and this is where the inconsistent teams kind of just fall at the last hurdle, as it were. Let's see how the Netherlands get on. Arnu with the serve for Slovenia, and that's 3 in a row now for Slovenia.
And again, the celebrations from the Netherlands that you're not a fan of. It does feel forced. I don't feel that the Netherlands have really found their groove yet. Their captain.
Sometimes if you start to rely on the other team's errors, when they stop making them, you've got nothing to feed off. Gasparini splitting the block. Slovenia just doing enough at the moment to keep a 2-point lead.
And that's been a crucial connection. We've mentioned it a lot, the connection between the setter and Gasparini, the 6. This time he's in position 2, he's not in the back row. You know, if that connection goes cold, maybe then Slovenia have got a problem, but they've been so consistent as a 1-2 punch. It's been a real difference. Again, an inquiry as to whether the correct athlete is going back to serve. This is an unnecessarily long period between serves. Is it going to help one squad? Something going to go off the boil?
Well, that was very nice. A free hit through the outside for Ter Horst. I just have to wonder what Gasparini was doing. He was a bit like a puppet on a string then, just jumping for nothing.
One of the most technically perfect attacks that they've run. You saw the middle blocker was a genuine option. The back set to 2 was a genuine option. So, you know, the Dutch actually did a good job of constructing that attack. Close the gap to 18, 19. Gee, they're there or thereabouts, mate. They're lurking. Who is going to get hot in an orange jersey and grab this second set by the scruff of the neck? Someone has to do something amazing, I think, to really catch fire for the Dutch.
And that's exactly what Tamat has done. What a time to come up with an ace serve. Bit of a momentum swing possibly in favour of the Netherlands, but Slovenia, though, if they side this out, will have the lead, but that's a magnificent serve from Tamat, just when they needed it.
It's a funny game, isn't it? You know, 6 athletes out there, but you just need someone to do something breathtaking. And again, locked up at 19. So for the Dutch, a spot in the gold medal match. This is semi-final number 1, folks. We hope you're enjoying the coverage. We are in the Gold Coast of Australia, enjoying Group 2 semi-finals of the World League. This wonderful Dutch outfit up against Slovenia. The young tyros of world volleyball, the Slovenians. They know no fear, do they? They seem completely at home, playing some lovely volleyball, and the local fans really enjoying it.
Some great support. Plenty of fans in watching as well, which is nice to see as Tamat goes for a second ace. And it's well dealt with by Arnu, although not so well dealt with by the setter Vincic. However, just for a moment there, the Slovenians celebrated as if they won the point, but they haven't. So Tamat's on a good run here. Good dig. Will it come back? Not quite. A little bit of frustration for the Netherlands and for the libero Dirk Sparadans. His job is to defend. He'll be disappointed he didn't keep that one in play.
But you know, that's a positive error from the Netherlands. They put good service pressure. They've got a touch from the libero, much better than some of the easy points they've been giving away. So a higher quality loss of point won't necessarily help them on the scoreboard, but better signs at 20 all.
That was close, right into the corner, but no cigar for Slovenia. And the Netherlands take the ball and take the lead 21-20 to Horst now with the serve.
The left-hander, can he do something a little freakish from the service line? He's a right-hander, and he served out, so that's a no on both counts.
Chebel now goes back to serve. Well passed by Andringer. And brilliantly put away by the Netherlands. And good to see Overbaker's come in and made an instant impact.
He's the left-hander. Comes from a really wide angle, and that kind of ungainly left-handed swing back across his body. Really hard for the blockers to track that left shoulder when he comes in at that angle, and he did a nice job, didn't try and overkill that ball. So 22-21, a handy 1-point lead at a handy part of this set.
Excellent quicker ball out wide. Arne was waiting in the air for that one. Great hang time from him. Slovenia level again. If we get to 24 all, we'll just keep going till someone gets two clear. Just have another look at this quick ball out wide.
And then the paintbrush. If you're in position 6, the 15 there from the Netherlands in cooler wine, I feel he's got to do a little bit more to try and get that ball. Didn't have a lot of power on it. He was back on his heels a little bit. His teammates weren't impressed. So 22 all, a big moment. Oh, a huge moment. That didn't look like it was coming over the net for a moment.
That's a really good serve as well from number 4, Kozimemic, who's come in especially for that, as he did in the first set. And he's put it right over the penetrating setter, in between the two serve receivers. And just a lack of communication cost them, and it could cost them the set.
Wow, what a time for an ace. And it looked innocuous. It just floated up and over the net. A little bit of sleight of hand, perhaps, for the Slovenians. You'll see it again on the replay. He's just taken all the pace off the ball.
He's exactly right to where the K-Mink had run from, and that's a communication error between the passing unit. They have to be on point with that. Somebody has to be the leader in that situation and take control of that.
And a very deliberate serve. He's looking for that seam. He's looking to try and take it down the shoulder of Diefenbach, the middle blocker, to take him out of the play. Diefenbach, as the middle attacker, doesn't really want to serve receive, so he stepped out of the way. No one responded in the backcourt, so.
That one went right through the arms of the Slovenian block. It's like a field goal for the Netherlands. But momentum now with Slovenia. They are siding out to go level. Slovenia themselves siding out to go in front.
So Overbaker, he gets subbed off, but a good little mini cameo from the left-hander. Hit some nice clean winners. We see the number 1 going back to the service line. This is a big moment. Someone's going to have a set point after this rally. Do you go for broke with the serve, or do you just do enough? It's an interesting look into the psyche of the Dutch at this point. Does he try and do absolutely everything on this ball from the service line, or does he just make sure? Different athletes have different views on this.
And coaches, I would imagine.
I believe so. My view is you've got to go for your strength. Here's an opportunity to get a set point off your own back.
And then at the same time, at the very least, you have to make the other team play the ball. What you don't want to do is give them a free point, give them a set point without them having to work for it.
And again, a little bit of a delay. We saw a substitution. So again, if you're the serving player, you've got to refocus. Here's an opportunity to do something for your team.
And he's just done something brilliant for his team. What a serve that is from Van Halen.
That'll do. He's gone back, and he hasn't tried to overplay it. And his team rejoiced because that is a set point. Well, the Netherlands. This is a very different squad that we saw from the first set. They were well beaten 25-15 from Slovenia in the first. They've come out, they haven't been great at times. Slovenia haven't been great either. But the Netherlands have kept their chin up. And on the back of this really interesting float serve through the hands of the libero, that is painful to watch for Slovenia.
Delight for the Dutch fans here in the stadium, and delight for those of you following and fans of the Dutch watching wherever you're watching from. They now have a set point opportunity and momentum clearly with them in this set. Can Van Halen recreate what he's just done with his last serve? Taking his time, good pre-serve routine. And a big side out for Slovenia. And at the team's 24 all, it's now the first to get two clear to take the set.
And he was never going anywhere else with this set, Vincic, than to his trusted number 6, Gasparini. If I'm the Dutch blockers, I reckon I'm over-betting. I can't imagine it would have gone anywhere other than the hot number 6. It's easy to say from here, but we are locked up at 24 all.
Huge screen from Slovenia serving down the line. Bit of work to be done here. Oh, that is amazing. That's a really good swing against two blockers, getting block out and set points once again for the Netherlands.
Sometimes one of the hardest things to do at this level in this game is to put your ego away. And what he did really cleverly there is he didn't try and hit the cover off the ball, tooled the block, and it is set point number 2. It is going to be Andring at a serve from the Netherlands. Can he light it up from the service line?
That's an excellent cut from Paying down to position 1. Didn't try and bury it in the 3-meter line. It's gone over the block. Slovenia have the side out and they've saved set point.
Haven't seen a lot in the second set from the number 2 of Slovenia, so a nice timely intervention.
That is a magnificent block from the Netherlands. Chebel saw glory and it was quickly shut out.
And we were critical previously of Termart in position 2 and his blocking technique. Let me tell you, he has improved it. He sealed the net so perfectly, and the strength through the shoulders has earned his team a third, surely, and final set point for the Netherlands.
Different back with the serve. Excellent. Well, Chebel learned his lesson and he learnt it very quickly. And this time he gets block out. And once again, another set point saved.
This time Termat tooled off the block off his hands, so Slovenia keeping their composure really well.
Paying. That's a nice time to go quick to the middle. Slovenia not committing, just enough space to get the ball through and over.
Kulawine, the 15, didn't try and snap it down hard. He's gone deep. So set point number 4. Slovenia holding on in the second.
It's a nice lead from Slovenia. Termart, who'd had a couple of points already from his serve, so Slovenia have got off that one. But yet to construct a set point opportunity themselves. Another chance for the Netherlands. Oh, the line judge has given it as out. It looked like a warm-up hit, but the line judge was very quick to give that as out, and Kovacs, the Slovenian coach, is very kindly showing it was out.
Always very helpful when the other coach... I don't mind that call. I reckon this will be really interesting on the replay, but I think this ball is out. I'm going to put another Fogarty faux pas out there for the world to see, but I reckon it misses everything.
Yeah, that's out.
Yeah, I still stand by that call. I reckon that's good officiating. Of course, no challenge system. I think we've got a backcourt setter they're asking for. Good pick up.
And a net touch against Slovenia. Well, what an exciting end to this set we've got.
And those that believe in the volley gods, Clayton may be saying the ball was in before, because you get what you deserve in this game. And I've got to tell you that it would have been a tragedy for the Netherlands if the Slovenians had wrapped this set up on their first attempt. We are back at 28 all. Just to repeat, the Netherlands have had 4 set points of their own. That was Slovenia's first attempt. But it is now back to 28 all. We keep going now. 25 points obviously was not enough. You have to have a 2-point margin.
That is a wonderful block, and Chebel again, he's having a mixed time out at position 4 on that left-hand side. Blowing a little bit hot and cold, and Netherlands have conjured up another set point.
Yeah, Cooler Wine, the middle blocker, 15, steps out, pivots, doesn't try and overcommit. So the number 4, Thies Terhorst, the right-hander, can he perhaps, on his second attempt at a set point, come up with the goods? Opportunity.
Gasparini comes good. It's interesting, the Netherlands now picking on the libero of Slovenia with every serve. They are going after Kovacic. It's Gasparini who gets Slovenia out of trouble.
Time and time again, he's been so solid. And the pressure and the atmosphere in the stadium has just ratcheted up another notch. 29 apiece in the second set, semi-final number 1.
Oh, wow, would you believe it? Off balance, put the ball into the block to recycle it, wasn't trying to hit a winner, and it's come back 8 meters and still it doesn't get dug.
You see the number 1 for the Netherlands, the setter, had to roll, and then his footwork is all wrong, he can't adjust. He was committed weight-wise going forward. So set point number 2 for Slovenia. The Netherlands have done everything possible to win this second set, but Slovenia maybe are going to pick their pocket with this serve.
Chebel once again. Good lead by Andringer.
Hearts in mouths all over the stadium.
It's a very good leave. Looks a lot further out than it does in real time, that ball travelling at some speed. Kulawine. Concilia puts it away through the middle. You just get the feeling that whoever takes this set, if the Netherlands take it, it's game on. If Slovenia take it, it could well end up 3-0. Big swing through the middle.
Big test of character now for the Netherlands. They've seen off a number of set points. Definitely advantage Slovenia at this stage. One error will be curtains in this second set.
Brilliant, the captain gets the block out, and Slovenia have taken the second set. 32-30, they lead 2-0 and are 1 away from a place in the final. Well, the Slovenian fans are ecstatic, as you might expect, so too the Slovenian players, because that could have been a very tricky, a very different outcome. Had the Netherlands taken that set to make it 1-1, definitely felt it would have been game on. But has that just now taken the wind out of the Netherlands' sails as we get confirmation of the set scores? 25-15, 32-30, but it's Slovenia up 2-0. Where'd you go here as a coach now for the Netherlands? Vermeulen having a look at the stats, letting the players just take on some water and take a breather.
It's a hard one, isn't it, for Vermeulen? You know, I'm not sure he could have asked for much more from his squad in that set. It was on a knife edge, balls called in that could have been out, vice versa. It's really interesting now to see what he does. Does he keep the faith? Does he mix it up? You talked about, does his team capitulate? Are they going to fall apart, or is that going to galvanise them? It's absolutely fascinating where we are in this match. Of course, these are the 2 best teams from World League Group 2, the 2 best performed teams. Slovenia 8-1, their record coming into the finals. The Netherlands dropping 2 of their 9 games.
You get the feeling at times, don't you, that in a game of volleyball, both teams are kind of walking a tightrope between winning and losing, between great and being bad, because it's every point's different, every scenario's different. Even when it's the same server going back, it's still something still slightly different. And I think the manner in which the Netherlands lost that set will give them confidence. Mentally, they won't. If they'd have lost that in a similar fashion to they did the first set, I think it would have been all over. But they should take some heart from that. If they can believe in their abilities, then they've got every chance. They've just proved that. They were just unlucky. They couldn't take one of those opportunities. It was difficult. They never really got themselves a really good swing to take a set. They were always doing it from service and then having to stop a side-out opportunity. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this third set goes.
One of the big differences, or maybe not so big, but one of the differences between the squads is that the Dutch are serving more of the float jump serves that we've talked about. The Slovenians seem heaps more committed to the hard, heavy topspin balls. So if I could find a difference between the two squads that were pretty close in that second set, I just think the serve pressure was a little better from Slovenia. Yes, we saw a couple of aces from the Dutch, but less of their athletes are really going for that heavy topspin ball. We're going to see some highlights from that second set. Boy, there were plenty.
A few contentious points as well, none more so than the swing from Ter Horst that he thought was in, but wasn't. There were some great blocks on both sides. Both teams using the middle, but only occasionally it did become a battle of the wings.
And that tells me the service pressure has improved. Although we saw some, glaringly bad serves, I guess, from both squads.
Part of the problem for Slovenia was they had certainly 3, maybe even 4 players go back in a row and miss serves, which gave a good platform for the Netherlands to build on in that set. And then once Slovenia had got their serve going, the Netherlands were up and ready for it, dealing with it pretty well. So the team's ready to go for this third set. And no changes for the Netherlands. No changes either for Slovenia. And it will be Van Arlen to get this third set underway. Slovenia leading by 2 sets to nothing. It's not the start the Netherlands would have liked. Both teams with similar rotations as Vincic goes back to serve. Both teams now with their setter in the back row. 3 front court attackers plus a couple of back court options. So they're matching up quite well against each other. Oh, that was just too low, too quick.
And that's just a crucial skill error. A free ball coming over to not be able to be converted to a set that's above the net height is spirit crushing. So we don't want to see Slovenia from a Dutch point of view jump out to a lead, like they did in the first set. Let's see what they can do.
Well, that should have been just an easy ball as Chebel only put it in play, but Sparidan somehow contrived to make a mess of that one. Vermeulen's trying to be calm. He's trying to be calm.
I'm not buying it. I don't think he is. He's a seething mass of Dutch rage at the moment if his team keep letting simple plays go. Here's an opportunity, another free ball. Can they convert this one?
They'll do nicely. A little bit of afters, though, from the Netherlands. Without too much, just having a little shout through the net. Referee spotting that, just telling him to stop it. That's the swing, nice disguised roll on that, and then just a little long look through the net, letting them know, yeah, I got that.
We don't mind a bit of passion.
Good up. Chance though for Slovenia. This ball pinballing around. Slovenia now have better control of it. It's a good dig, but it's a free swing in the middle. Payeng with no problem putting it down, and he has a little look through the net as well. And Slovenia now leading 4-1.
And the Dutch have come out, they just really haven't found their shape yet. A lot of half touches, little touches are okay, but they really haven't given their setter much of a chance in Van Halen to really dictate any terms. We talked about it coming from the back row. So this is a rotation I think is actually quite a weak one for them, and I'm a bit surprised that they haven't been able to shake it off.
Good D, really good cover. But free ball here for Slovenia, trying to make it slightly difficult, playing it to one. But that's a nice pipe. Ernau getting it off the block and away.
And this is the Slovenia of the first set. All of a sudden they're setting the pipe, they're drawing the blocker on both posts. You see here the middle blocker for the Netherlands, the captain of Diefenbach. He is at sixes and sevens. And so the coach, Guido Vermeulen, calls his boys in. Because we talked about this could happen. It could go downhill very, very quickly for the Dutch. And 5-1's not a great start to a third set, a must-win set.
And I think, just looking at them, they look to be, I don't know, almost as if they're over-revving slightly in this third set. Just a little bit tense, a little bit tight, a couple of things that didn't go well first couple of points with a ball in the net, and suddenly they're getting a little bit, you know, almost they just need to relax a little bit, say, come on, get back in this.
And what are their go-to plays? What are the things that release pressure? The 16 has been very good in Walter Termat. He's at position 2 at the moment. Does he get a set to position 2? Do you go out to the 4 and Ter Horst? Just a simple play to a high percentage player. It's going to go to their captain through the middle. That's probably a nice response.
A decent ball in. Diefenbach able to come around, use his momentum to continue. And then nice cut across his body. Vincic with no chance to dig that one.
And Diefenbach's got a role to play here to settle this squad, keep them calm. He's at the service line.
Well, that's a lovely side out. Although Ter Horst will be apologising to his teammate Andringer down the line for leaving so much of it.
But once again, Gasparini, he's almost the best spiker out there for mine. He just seems to be either it's position 2 or position 1 in the back row, hitting very cleanly. I can't think of a time where he's really been shut down by the block.
Vermaat now with the serve for the Netherlands. Big serve as well. This will be a free ball here. Good up by Kovacic. Held his ground. But the Netherlands get to have another go. And this time, Ter Horst turns to the line and gets the ball down.
Started with the serve, really hard-driven, clean serve. Slovenian pick-up by the libero the first time round, the 13, was very clinical, but the Netherlands kept their shape. They went back out to the quick ball to the antenna. A better action. Back-to-back service pressure would be nice.
Good covering by Ernau. Nice blocking, slowing the ball down by the Netherlands. Vermaat, though, didn't find the sideline. Unforced error from the Netherlands. Slovenia open up a 3-point lead.
Once again, Ernau goes over to kind of quiz the referee. I'm interested in this ongoing conversation. You know, he's not going to change the past, but he is going to just lay a few mental landmines there for the future. Has a word to the second referee as well. He's certainly spreading his opinion far and wide in this match. It is this wonderful Gasparini, almost the man of the match so far. It's very early to call it, but looking great.
So the Netherlands get their side out. Gasparini, incidentally, playing his volleyball in Korea for the Korean Air Jumbos. Star player out in the Korean League, no doubt about that. This is a decent side out. Good look through the net, just checking where everyone is.
Has a birthday coming up in a couple of days. 26th. He'll enjoying his birthday here on the Gold Coast, I hope.
Horse won't be enjoying that serve. I don't want to see it again. Technical timeout, Slovenia leading by 3.
Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever in the volleyball world you are. You're at the Gold Coast of Australia. World League Group 2 finals. This is semi-final number 1. Slovenia leading 2-0 against the Netherlands. A really spirited second set, 32-30 to Slovenia, but the Netherlands well beaten in the first. Hard to know which way this third set will go. Slovenia just seem to always have an answer. The Netherlands will play some breathtaking volleyball and then they'll go back and let themselves down from the service line. I just feel like there's a bit more X factor about this Slovenian squad.
Kevin Chebel with the serve then for Slovenia.
And that's an example. You've picked apart the block of your opposition. Just going too much angle. It did catch the tape, to be fair.
Just watching Dan Van Harlem. He's a decent setter, but he almost could do with it being a little bit quicker. He's not in the best position to be flinging the ball out wide. He's often flinging it and turning into the set or flinging it sideways on, making it an unstable ball for his hitters to have to deal with.
He's technically very different from the setter from Slovenia, and his disguise, the way he disguises his plays, he gets his hands up very, very late, but it means he's still setting the ball very, very low. And when the pass isn't exactly where he needs it to be, he's giving himself less margin for error, where the setter for Slovenia is using his hips and his shoulders for more disguise, gets his hands up much earlier. Right above his head there. So technically, I like what I'm seeing. Oh, that ball's into the rafters. Well, we've never seen that before here at Carrara.
Well, the subs are all bowing here to their Slovenian teammate for that swing on Tama. That was a big hit. It was off the shoulder.
The bench for Slovenia are all pointing at their heads, but I think the shoulder it was.
Good response. That's what the Netherlands needed. Let the volleyball do the talk. Come back, get the side out. And now they go into a strong 3 rotations with the setter in the back row. Very nice work by Terhorst.
Can they back it up with a good defensive play now? Let's get a good block set.
There's a decent serve, and Ernau again is being brought right into the middle of the court. The 3 blockers were on his left-hand side. He's trying to go back at them to get some block out, to get something, and a cheap point given away by Slovenia. Dan Van Harlem once again. Interesting approach. Almost looks like he's going to trip up as he goes to serve the ball, but he stays on his feet. And that one's just crept out along the net, and they get their side out.
Yeah, he's one of these servers that throws the ball up with both hands. His serve, his toss of the ball, which always looks a little bit ungainly. And the Netherlands, you know, the 50-50 balls. You know, the Slovenia, maybe you've had the rub of the green, but you certainly make your own luck. And the Slovenians have been sparkling. Oh, and see, that's a great example where you've had the opportunity, you've picked apart the opposition's block, and any ball that goes in there is a winner, I reckon. But he's sliced the ball. He hasn't got over the top of the ball, so the wrist snap was down the side of the ball, so there's no top spin. It's side spin and the ball goes out. An opportunity wasted.
Dig from Kovacevic, holding his ground. And Gasparini does what he's done throughout this game. pines away to get a point for his team. Really nice swing, off the block and away. It's a horse unable to get to it. Netherlands call the timeout.
So Slovenia again in control. We saw this in the first set, where the Netherlands just couldn't go with them, and they would go back and get 2 points almost for every one that the Netherlands got in the first set. A 5-point lead is a good margin.
The way that Slovenia have been playing, even in that second set, it's very difficult to see a way back for the Netherlands now.
Is the answer elsewhere? Is the answer on the bench? Is the answer another setter? Is it, you know, if things are not working, you have to change something. Here is the setter for Slovenia serving. Outrageous.
Well, that was some angle from Slovenia and a really good response from the Netherlands, although I got a feeling that the setter for Slovenia, Vincic, should have been called up for his serve, because he'd started his serve approach, took a step in to go and serve, stopped, and then banks the ball. Technically, that ball's left his hand. Nicely done. Gasparini gets block out off Tamart. But a really good play from Vincic, isolating him, sending it all the way out across the court for a one-on-one.
Yeah, they had a free ball opportunity. You won't see it. They put the ball Strapek over. The Netherlands had, just for the moment, they've taken control of the point. And they handed it straight back. So again, Slovenia just on a roll. They don't have to do much different. They're now serving for them. They are absolutely in control of this match now. And the Netherlands are starting to make unforced errors, which is going to make it really, really hard.
It can always be the way when you're chasing the game, you start to tense up, and then you start to make those errors, and they can be compounded, and that's exactly what we're seeing here now with the Netherlands. As Ernau serves once again. Well, he's got license to go after it. There's a big lead for Slovenia. Different back for the Netherlands with the serve.
They've been bunching. You see how they bunch in the middle of the court, try and screen that server. And when the server makes a service error, it really deflatory for a squad.
6-point lead for Slovenia at the second technical timeout. Very much in charge of this match.
Crowd starting to build here at Carrara Stadium. Of course, the second match, the second semi-final, will feature the home team, Australia, up against Japan. So an all-Asian second semi-final, the European semi-final, just the way that it panned out. Could have been China, could have been Japan, really close results. Japan clinching a really important last result to get them here to Australia. We're back here at the first semi-final of the Group 2 World League. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. It is Slovenia really in control, and it's their match to take at 16-10 and 2 sets to love. Really only 9 good points away. It is going to take something really special. Of course, the Netherlands, the game is still there, but they have to change something. It is rinse and repeat at the moment for the team in orange. They have to find something different, a spark, a different approach, because Slovenia are doing it fairly comfortably in the third set.
That was nice. A quicker ball, a longer shoot, and no trouble at all for Kulawine to put that one away.
We actually saw Kulawine towards the end of the second set, which went quite a long way. He actually got some nice blocks, hit some good balls, so the big number 15, perhaps he's going to be the guy.
To mark with the serve. That's an excellent serve. It's free ball for Slovenia. Netherlands unable to get full control of it. Oh, that's a good lead. Excellent lead.
Just out. You feel like 9 out of 10 of those have gone the way of Slovenia today, haven't they?
I do say you can create your own luck. Vincic made sure this ball stayed in play, getting himself over the advertising hoardings, but Netherlands couldn't get control of the ball, giving it back, and when they did, in the end, Slovenia took advantage. That was an excellent pickup from Samart, but they just couldn't keep it in play. Gasparini.
Absolutely bombs away. It's off his wrist, though. I think it's still going up.
New player onto court, Ilke van der Kamp with the serve. Number 5. Rare error from Gasparini off the back of his missed serve.
Well, we've not seen that. That is rare air for the team from the Netherlands. Gasparini's been so solid. A little bit too extravagant with the line swing and misses everything. So maybe an opportunity for the Netherlands. A sign of the times, perhaps. Normal service resumed from Gasparini.
Nice work as well by Dejan Vincic to go back to his main attacker, re-establish him, get him straight back in the match.
And he had a 3-man block on him too. I'm not sure he could have been set a harder chore, but he made it look really easy. And he's been largely untouched from the spiking line tonight.
Netherlands made another double sub. Kamink and Overbakker have come in. It's not really helping them at the moment. Oh, that is, though. That is a huge, huge block from the Netherlands. Robert Andringer shutting down Gasparini.
Just absolutely pure blocking, and the sound of the ball hitting the floor is such a delight. There's nothing quite like it. But again, Ernau is being reminded of his team and perhaps their on-court demeanour. This is probably an unnecessary distraction for his squad. They're playing sparkling volleyball. They don't need to be reminded of their manners. Their volleyball is eloquent enough.
A watch by Vincic. Arnold gets a little bit of luck. Kamink not quick enough to get that ball behind the block.
One of the hardest balls in the game to retrieve as the blocker is when you put your head down the block and it pops straight up above your head. You've got absolutely no way of knowing where that ball has gone. So those 3 athletes, half your team, are absolutely redundant from that point onwards because they don't know where that ball is. Bad luck for the Dutch.
Chembel and Gasparini getting in each other's way. Netherlands have their side out, but it's still very much Slovenia's game to lose at the moment. They have a 4-point lead. Netherlands back to serve with Overbakker. It's a good serve. Gasparini trying to hoik it back in. He was unsure of where he was in relation to the advertising hoardings, why he didn't go with both hands. It's a good serve from the Netherlands.
I like this. This is positive signs, both blocking and serving. Big, ungainly, loping left-handed jump serve. Catches the Slovenians a little bit flat-footed, but he couldn't back it up. That all-important kind of psychological, numerical point of the set when the team gets to 20, it's, I don't know, it's a big moment, so some substitutions are going to be rung. He's going to come off the 11 for the Netherlands. over Baker, and Van Harlem, the setter, comes back on. Termat comes back on as well, so the number 2 comes off in K-Mink.
Nice ball in, and a good finish. Well, the middles look good, but they only look good when the pass comes in and they're able to put on the floor. And for Fabian Plack, who's literally at the first touch of the ball, that's an excellent put away.
Yeah, it's an important time to come on and hit a clean winner through the middle for your nation. 17-20, he was nerveless. The young man does a nice job, so who will it be? The Netherlands looking for a hero at the moment.
Slovenia get right back to business of getting their side out. 21-17 they lead. They're 4 points away from a place in the final. Lovely block out from the captain.
Well,
Black once again.
The youngest man in the squad at 19 years of age in a semi-final for the World League, coming out for your first run in a third set when your team is down 2-love and 2 clean swings. So the bravado of youth, is that going to be the elixir for the Netherlands? What can he do from the service line?
Netherlands keep it in play. Oh, and put it away as well through the outside. Another substitute. Van de Kamp putting the ball on the floor.
A bit of life in the Dutch yet at 19-21. This is a much better play.
Black. Flirting with that net again. That's a wonderful, wonderful set from Vincic, one-handed to go to the middle. 22-19.
Nice response from Slovenia. The Dutch were serving to try and pull the setter as far away from the sweet-hitting man of the match for mine, and Gasparini. They're trying to keep the setter away from that connection, but they didn't need it on that occasion.
Paying's just broken one of Concilia's fingers. He's not too happy about that.
Walked straight off for the libero. Didn't look at any of his teammates. Timeout called. So for Slobodan Kovac, the coach of Slovenia, he hasn't really had to shuffle his deck very much. He hasn't had to really change his game plan. Largely controlled this match. And at 22-20 and 2 sets to love up, he's still in control of this match. But he just, as an experienced coach does, he wants to bring his team in, refocus, repurpose.
He's definitely not happy despite the lead. Just reasserting the fact that the guys need to focus and stay on track.
All right, so for the Dutch, a big moment. Can they close the gap? Can they give Slovenia a sniff?
Stays in play. Better chance now for Slovenia. Gasparini makes no mistake.
And that point was a microcosm of the bigger game that we've seen. The Dutch block absolutely zoned out. Gasparini has been the focal point for most of the night, and not one Dutch blocker got a hand above the net to challenge him. And that is a mental as much as skill error. So Slovenia at 23-20 are really 1 foot into the gold medal match for mine.
Well, that was a shame, because there was a lovely pass in from Van de Kamp. He got out wide really quickly, gave himself a chance, but he's caught the antenna, and it's now match point for Slovenia as Gasparini goes back to serve. Well, he's got a license to go after this one, and I'm sure he would dearly love to finish with an ace. And he He is going after it. He's done the right thing, keeps it in play. Makes a decent dig. Oh no, it was. Gets it up. Chebel. Another chance. Oh, it's caught the baseline, and that's it. It's all over. Slovenia take the set 25-20. The match 3-0, and they are through to the final. Well, it was a consummate performance in the end from Slovenia. They were pushed hard in that second set, but they came through it 32-30 after the pretty much whitewash in the first set. The Netherlands, despite their best efforts, tried to get back in the third, but they were hampered with a slow start. And then in the end, Slovenia, well, just too good.
Absolutely outstanding. They did such a good job, and there is confirmation of the set score.
Slovenia then sitting pretty now. They'll get to relax and watch the second semi-final to see who they will be playing. And a very, very good performance indeed. They'll be delighted with that. Slobodan Kovac will be very happy with the way his team performed overall. Very happy with the fans as well, and the players going over to celebrate with them. And why not? They've been royally supported throughout this match. The players and the coaching staff all going over to say thank you to the fans. Just wonder how